What's up, everybody in YouTube land? Hey, I'm going to teach you today. This is going to be the beginning of a new series. We are going to start flipping appliances, is what we're going to start doing on this channel. And I'm going to teach you how. So, right now, behind me, we have this here dryer. Now, this dryer came to me. We'll just plug this in here real quick. Everything's all wired up correctly to this. Now, here's the noise you're hearing from this thing. Pretty bad, right? Pretty bad, right? Well, we're going to address that. So, stick around. Alright, let's see if I can get the camera angled right here. Excuse the setup. Alright. I'm going to show you how to pull this dryer apart real quick. Basically, what I have with me is a Phillips screwdriver and a 5/16 nut driver. Now the end's all wore off. This used to have the denomination on it. But you can do this crap with basic hand tools. Alright? So, here we go. First thing you want to do, yank your lint screen. There's two Phillips screws right here. Pull those guys out. Boom. Simple, right? Now, what I like to do is I like to take a knee and stick it right in this door, and then you grab the top of it, pull a little bit forward. Sometimes you can get the console a little bit, get one side, get the other, and this top will come right up. So make sure when you're moving the top that you've got something to set it against, like a wall or something like that, because I've had those things come down on my head before. All right. Next thing we're going to need real quick is a flat blade screwdriver. Do your door switch here. The other thing you got to remember to do before you start messing with electrical stuff, unplug that thing. So, boom, door switch pops out. You the way these connectors are, I'll show you. What I kind of do, you'll see this connector here, you kind of have to wedge your Phillips screwdriver or your flathead screwdriver in between this and just kind of cam it up and pry up and then just pull that switch off. Hopefully I can get this to chill out there. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So there's that. Now we come to our 5/16 nut driver. Two screws on either side, inside the case. We pull the case. This is my first time looking inside this dryer, guys, so my guess is about as good as yours as to what's making the noise. I'm pretty sure I know, but I like to remain objective. There's two hooks to pull this front panel off. There's two hooks down below. You'll see them. You can't miss them. We'll just set that aside. Now, for the rest of this, I've got to actually bring you guys down here so we can sort of see in here. Okay, apparently my camera cut off, so we're going to give you that view again. Okay, now there's the roller, or there's the idler right here, and then here's the motor. And you can see how the belt's rooted around this thing underneath. So what we're going to do is take this idler and move it this way, and you can see you pop the belt off, just gently release tension on that. That belt will drop free. And then we can pull our drum up and out. And there we go. That drum and belt is up and out. Got a little lint on me there. So now where are we at? We've got everything rotational exposed in this dryer. We have here, right here is our idler pulley, like I said before, and that is pretty free, as you can see. So that is probably not making our noise. So what are we left with? We're left with a motor and a blower wheel behind here. Blower wheels usually make kind of a buzzing sound, and obviously our motor, both directions, perfectly free. Roller, this roller, that seems to spin okay. So we're left with one more thing right here. And you can see how that roller is jammed up right there. And usually what happens is, and I don't know if I can get a good shot of this, but behind here, hair and gunk and lint, you can see that there's hair wrapped around the back of this roller. A lot of times that'll get to where the roller itself is starting to make noise. I'm just going to throw both rollers into this thing. I will grab them and I'll be right back. Okay, back with you guys. Got a set of rollers here. And these are factory brand new parts, even though the bag doesn't really look brand new. This was part of a service kit that I had that I did not use the rollers for at some point or something like that. But you can see they're inside the bore, nice and shiny. They're still brand new. So I don't put used stuff in things. I always believe in, for the most part, factory original parts. So we're going to jump into this thing. I'll show you guys what to do from here. I'll set you back. I guess we'll set you right there. That ought to give you a pretty good view of what we're doing here. Okay, so from here, oops, my tools wouldn't come apart. We're going to need a set of needle nose pliers. Is what I usually use. We're going to have to disconnect this guy. So, number one, needle nose pliers. Number two, 5/6 nut driver. You don't have to take this thing all the way off. So just loosen this little bracket right there. And then we will take this and just wiggle it off, just like that. And then that little, there you go. There you can see it now. That little guy will pop off. Make sure you keep a hand in front of that because he will fly out. Then I take my flat blade screwdriver right here. Now you can see all the gunk and grease and crap that's behind this. So you want to kind of stick your driver behind that little triangular plastic connector and just cam up over here. And then that little retainer will pop off. Sometimes you got to break them, and in this case I think I probably just will, since I have new ones. I'll stretch it a little bit. That's fine. And that roller should wiggle itself off of there. Sometimes they're a tight fit. That's okay. Boomski. There you go. Old roller. So now that we've got this apart, we're having to clean this shaft right here. Okay. And I'm just going to show you guys this on this one roller. It's the same process for the other one. Okay. For the interest of time, I'm just showing you it on this one roller here. Now, I keep a little bit of sand cloth with me, but like I said, remember the hair and all that stuff? We've got to get that out so it doesn't create future problems. Now, this is also a good example of why you should never use WD-40 on these, okay? Because it makes them really gross. WD-40 turns these things to grease, okay? There's a lot of maintenance guys I find that wind up using WD-40 on these things. It just turns to grease and makes it just gross, okay? So there's that. We're just going to start polishing this thing with this sand cloth. And this is just standard plumber's emery cloth is all it is. And you want this shaft completely dry, okay? You want to polish it up all the way around. Make sure it's dry. Make sure it's free of really deep scores. So, okay, we've got all our hair and grease and gunk out of this thing. We should be in pretty good shape. Yep. we're in good shape. So I'm going to replace that roller. See how well that spins now? That's so much better. It's going to be so much quieter. And in these service kits, they give you new little triangular retainers here, those things. And you're going to want to just pop that on. I pop one part of it on first, and then just kind of stretch it around with your fingers. It'll click in. There you go. Boom. And that's our noise corrected, guys. I'm going to replace the other roller, and we'll be back with you once we're putting it back together. Okay, we're about back to where we started with this thing when we took the drum off. So we're just going to reverse order this and start putting everything back together. Okay? So, what I like to do is usually you find on this drum right here that there's kind of a mark where that belt is. If it's old enough, you'll usually see that mark where that belt likes to ride. So, bearing that in mind, balance that camera out here. Stand by with me 1 minute. Okay. So bearing that in mind, that's usually where I try to pick it up from. You can pick it up with the belt, and there's 2 slots cut out of the dryer side here to guide that drum back in. Now, when you're putting this in, there's a felt seal around the back side of it, okay? And you want to make sure that that felt seal is all in its place, okay? You want to make sure you can't see that felt seal when you're putting it back in, okay? And it's really difficult for me to, well, I suppose I can show you guys. I'll show you guys real quick the inside of this drum, what you're looking at. That felt seal is tucked in all the way around there, and you can see it. It's not like smashed through. Kind of, see if I can show you. Kind of like that. You can't see the edge of it. You know, it's not smashed in. You know, it's actually uniform all the way around. So that's what you want to look for. Once you get it on the rollers, that drum will hang out there by itself. We'll keep on keeping on with this thing. Now, I showed you the belt routing earlier. I'm not going to do that again in the interest of time. But basically, what I like to do is I like to hold this with my forearms, and I'll get under here and hold the idler pulley where it's supposed to be in its little slots right there. Grab the belt with one hand, right? You go underneath the belt and or underneath the pulley and over the motor pulley, underneath the idler, over the motor, because that idler is going to hold tension this way. Okay? So, there you have it. Now we can go grab the front of this thing. What I usually do when it comes to the front is remember those hooks I was telling you guys about. You got one on one side, one on the other. So I kind of slide it into the front of the drum right here. I'll just kind of hook one at a time. You just got to kind of play with it. There's one hook. There's the other hook. Push the drum back. Use your body to push against there, and then start a screw on either side of it so you can walk away from it. Start those inside 5/16 screws. Come back. Grab your 5/16 nut driver. Screw those in. Sometimes you got to play with the panels to align them just right. Make sure when you're doing this that you plug your door switch in. Many times I had gotten these things back together and forgot to put a door switch in. I forgot to connect a door switch or whatever. Set your top back down. Click it into place. Then you got your 2 Phillips screws up top. Get my tools where they're supposed to go. That would help us a lot. Alright, screws. Lid screen, back in. Now we'll plug her back in. Let's see if this noise has stopped. Quiet as a church mouse, boys and girls. That's what I call a successful repair. Now, let's talk numbers. I get these machines usually for free. I come across them through the company I work for. They're usually machines that are tossed out. You know, they get to go to pasture. But you can pick up a noisy dryer yourself for anywhere from 10 or 20 bucks. I wouldn't pay anything more than, let's say, 30 tops, okay, for a dryer making a noise. All right, let's check double E. We're nice and hot. Hey, look at that. Even our drum light works. So, we're good on this. That's a good quick flip, guys. So, going back to numbers, I wouldn't pick these things up for more than 30 bucks. Okay, it depends on your area where you can resell them. I can usually resell them for about $80 to $100. Okay, so what have we got? We've got maybe a 10-minute repair into this thing, and you can turn around and flip that thing for $80 or $100. It's worth it to me, guys. Keep on hustling, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright guys, just a quick edit I'm going to throw in here about this dryer, guys. I'm going to post all of the part numbers and prices and everything like that in the description down below, okay? For what it would cost an average person to repair one of these. I have a lot of crap laying around for stuff like this, so I'm usually able to fix things on the cheap. So I just wanted to kind of put that disclaimer out there. I will go over numbers in the description, so it still would be something worthwhile to flip, okay? Like I said, I wouldn't buy something, a dryer or anything, for more than 30 bucks, you know, and I wouldn't really spend more than, you know, 30 bucks on it myself. Now, a lot of you guys can get $150 out of something like that. I just can't in my area. Okay, you can also find multiple machines, part out other machines for some. You could have even probably cleaned up that shaft, and that roller may have straightened out. Okay, that's just one thing I wanted to throw out there, guys. So y'all keep hustling, and I will see you guys on the next video.